Don't look at the white stuff. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. I'm not a good girl. I'm not a good girl. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Giri's Kitchen. Today we're gonna try making tempura don. Very first time trying it out, and I hope it goes well, but we're gonna have an assortment of ingredients, including shrimp, asparagus, sweet potato, mushroom as well. So we're gonna be deep frying a lot of things. I think it's gonna be really great, and we're gonna be making a lot of things and miso soup and sauce from scratch as well. So if you wanna see how it turns out, make sure you stick around for the rest of the video, and let's get cooking. We have our dashi. I have 1 liter of filtered water and also about 5-6 grams of kombu. Kombu is just like the hard, thick piece of seaweed that you usually see in Asian grocery stores. We're gonna be using the kombu later as well for other things. Like we're making more than just tempura. We're gonna make the sauce and also a miso soup. So we're not gonna be wasting any ingredients, okay? This one I did it the night before. You can put it in the fridge like 2 or 3 days before if you really want to, if you run out of time or you forget. But for me, I did this last night. So it was at room temperature, just kind of cold steeping basically. So I have my scale here. You need 1 egg. This is just a large egg, but I think any egg in general will be okay. 250 milliliters of dashi. You can do water. However, if you do want your batter to have that hint of umami and nice tasting, then do the dashi. 250. Okay. You want to be careful and make sure that your eggs are fully mixed in with the rest of the batter. What happens if you use milk in the batter? I'm not sure if the extra fat will change the texture or not. So if you don't have dashi, then water is fine. But I wouldn't recommend changing out water for milk. But you can try and let me know how it works. Don't do anything sassy. And we're gonna put it back onto our scale, and we're gonna measure out 125 grams of rice flour. Oh, this is just regular rice flour, non-glutinous, just regular rice flour. Okay, 125. All right, rice flour is recommended. You can use AP flour or cake flour if you really can't find rice flour. But the key to using flour that has gluten in it is to mix it very gently and very slowly, because you do not want to have the gluten form, or else your batter will turn out soggy and chewy after you fry it. When we knead it again, we're gonna have to stir it again because rice flour tends to settle in liquid. It doesn't remain like a dough, especially when it's like quite light and viscous like this. So we do need to re-stir it later on. We're gonna work on tempura sauce first, and while that's kind of simmering and steeping, we'll just prepare the rest of like the vegetable ingredients and stuff like that. Dog hairs in the batter adds to the flavor. A lot of people always get really concerned. It's like, oh, you should change your gloves, you should wash your hands. I mean, she's my dog. Literally, her hair flies around everywhere. Even if I don't see the hair, I probably like breathe it in and eat it. But obviously, if you're in a kitchen or something, don't fucking touch an animal and then cook your food. Okay, it's unhygienic, but it's my house. I'm gonna eat the same things that Pom Pom touches, so it's fine. Don't touch the queen. That's my, I can't even touch Pom Pom now. She's literally my dog, and I don't deserve to touch Pom Pom. Well, you know what? You don't want me to touch her? I'm touching her right now. Huh? How you like that, chat? I can't touch Pom Pom? I'm not worthy? Well, guess what I'm doing right now? Yeah, you guys jealous? I'm gonna do 100 milliliters of dashi. 100. And then we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of sugar. We're making the tempura sauce now. Gonna be steeping. I'm gonna save this one just in case. I don't think I need both of them. Okay, so I'm gonna heat this up. I'm gonna keep this on a low-ish flame. Kombu does not actually survive well in high temperatures. You're actually denaturing a lot of the natural nutrients and flavor that comes out of kombu. It's best extracted at sub-boiling temperatures. Okay, while that's happening, we're gonna prepare the vegetables and the shrimp as well. We're gonna deep fry or tempura fry the asparagus as well for a little bit of color. But not everything is like yellow and brown, you know? I want a little bit of color, some green and also some red, hopefully. And then we're going to prep the ginger. We're not gonna tempura fry the ginger, but the ginger we'll need for the miso soup. And I'm just gonna do like 2 or 3 slices. It's not too much. It's only gonna be used to kind of balance out some of the seafoody taste.
Good girl.
I'm gonna pretend that I didn't hear you. I'm just gonna cut the onion for the miso soup garnish. I'm just gonna keep my head down and just focus. I'm not gonna look at you guys anymore.
That's a good girl, keeping your head down and focusing. Keep that up and you'll get a treat. We all know that Giri is a baddie bad girl. Aren't you?
I'm not
Good
a
girl,
bad
smile.
girl, stop! You guys are making me nervous. I don't want to do this anymore. You're making me nervous. Okay, yeah, I need bonito flakes. I need 10.
Why did you stop cooking? Such a bad girl.
Stop! I'm cooking. Stop it! I need 10 grams of bonito flakes.
Oh, so you're a bad girl?
No.
Giri, are you a naughty girl?
No.
Who's the bad girl?
That's
naughty,
not me!
Naughty girl.
It's not me! Hold on, wait, there's somebody at the door. Oh, it's just a delivery guy. He might have heard me acting stupid. Oh my god. I literally heard like a hello while I was like screaming like, I'm not a good girl. I'm not a good girl. God damn it, Jack. Guys, look what you did. You embarrassed me. Okay, anyways. I put the kombu back in. 10 grams of katsuobushi and 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, and we're gonna let that steep. We're just gonna let that sit for about 15-20 minutes or so. I'm gonna get my plate ready. Ooh, his head is beautiful. Look at how much, like, what is it called? I forgot what this is called, but look how much of it. We're gonna peel the shrimp and take the legs off and the skin off, okay? I'm gonna take off everything, but I'm only gonna leave on the tail. And also there should be a tough part on the top of the tail that you can usually cut off or peel off. This is the part I was talking about. So you wanna take this part off. This part is okay, but you want to take this part off. All right, so we have our shrimp. It's deheaded, deshelled. It's not deveined. I'm just kind of lazy to devein it because I don't really care about it. I think it's fine. I don't have a problem with eating the vein. But if you do care about it, then you can just use a toothpick and grab the vein out, which is just like the poo-poo line, basically. You don't actually want to fry it just like this because it's going to start curling up naturally when you're putting it through heat. So what you want to do is you want to turn it onto its belly, and then you want to just cut a few cuts along the belly of the shrimp, like 5-6 cuts, something like that. Not too deep. You don't want to cut actually through the shrimp. You just want to cut halfway through. And then you want to turn it over, and then you want to actually use your 2 hands and kind of pinch down so that it kind of flattens out a little bit. So that's why normally for shrimp tempura, it's not because I actually have shrimp that's like this long, right? Like that's like almost a foot long. There is no shrimp that big. Well, I mean, I guess there could, but they don't actually buy super long shrimp. It's actually just a regular prawn that they cut the belly open, and then they actually just use their hands and kind of at each indentation. So this is the one that has been treated. It's nice and long and it won't curl up anymore when you're deep frying it. And this one is the one that hasn't been treated. So it's still like, it'll naturally curve. And I'm just gonna put it here. That's how you just prepare the shrimp. It's actually quite easy. You just wanna be careful and take it slow. Because I actually haven't made tempura before, this is all just tips and tricks I've learned online. So we're gonna see if this actually works. I'm hoping it does work, or else I just basically told a bunch of people to do something. It doesn't work, and I just embarrassed myself. You wanna be gentle, because shrimp meat can be quite delicate. Just wanna slowly pop it open. Okie dokes. All right, so shrimp is done. We're gonna set that aside, and then I'm just going to slice open my sweet potatoes. Just a few slices. I only want to do sweet potato because I like eating sweet potato and tempura, and also because I want a little bit of color for my tempura don. You don't have to use a sweet potato if you don't want to. I wash this real clean because I want to keep the skin on, obviously, so I actually use like a proper potato scrubber, and then I kind of try to make sure I get rid of all the dirt and the weird lumps and bumps on the outside so that I can actually eat the skin. I'm gonna cut it maybe on a bias just to have a little bit of shape to it. You don't have to cut it too big either because you want to make sure it's cooked through in the oil. We have 2 big ones and 2 small ones, but that should be okay. And the last ingredient is just mushroom. What mushroom is this, chat? I forgot what it was called, but I'm using this mushroom. Whatever mushroom you want, generally it should be okay, but I'm just using this one this time. I'm going to strain out my soy sauce, which is my tempura sauce. I have a strainer here. I have dashi, I have kombu, and I also have some bonito flakes that's been steeping in soy sauce, some sugar, sake, and mirin, okay? So we're just going to pour this into a separate pot. We're gonna try to squeeze out every ounce of flavor that's hiding in the bonito flakes. And now this you can throw away. So we've already extracted all the flavor from the bonito flakes and also from this piece of kombu, so we don't need it anymore. And this is our tensuyu sauce that you normally get in restaurants. It's quite light in color. It's also quite light in flavor. It's not very salty. It's more salty and sweet compared to just salty, but it's a very nice balance of umami, that seafood taste, that bonito taste, and also a little bit of that soy sauce. Because I want to make sure all the vegetables and the shrimp is fried fresh, I don't want to keep it waiting too long. I think I'll start on the miso soup first, and then we're gonna fry everything, and then we're going to like reheat the soup really quickly just to make sure it's still like hot, and then we're gonna serve everything together. We have the shrimp head and the shrimp skin. So now we have another pot that's slightly bigger. I'm gonna turn on my scale again. All our prawn heads and our shells, all of it in there. You don't wanna waste anything. And then we're gonna measure out the remaining dashi. Should be around 600 right now. We're gonna put it all in there. Okay, the rest of the dashi, we're gonna do the kombu here. We're gonna do a little bit of the bonito. I think this time there's not really a specific weight. Just do whatever makes you comfortable and you feel like it's good enough flavor. So I'm just doing one small handful, which is about 10 grams again, probably. And then we're gonna do the 2 slices of ginger, and then we're gonna add in a little bit of extra water just so that we have a little bit more volume in our soup. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. We're gonna let this steep and boil for a little bit. Again, as long as there's kombu in here, you wanna make sure that your water is not boiling. A little bit of bubble here and there is okay. So the thing about miso, you can do whatever miso you want. I'm using dashi miso, which is meant for miso soup, and all the flavor and all the salt that you would need for your miso soup all comes from the paste itself. You don't need to add salt, you don't have to add soy sauce. All the saltiness comes from the miso paste. Oh no, it's boiling. Oh, bring it down. Stop boiling. I'm gonna strain it here, okay? Oh my god, the soup is smelling so good. I'm just using my spoon and trying to crush every single head to make sure to get all the last bits of like juice. I'm gonna dump this back in. So we've strained our soup, and now we're going to turn the fire back on to medium low. Again, we don't want this to boil too hard. So if you guys have a small strainer, I would recommend that you guys use a small strainer. Grab some miso paste, and I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna do maybe 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna plop my sieve into my soup, and I'm just gonna slowly use my chopstick and push the miso soup through the holes. If you just plop the paste directly into your soup, it won't separate as nicely, and then you're gonna get like chunks of miso, and nobody likes that. I'm gonna add in my green onions. I'm gonna see if the saltiness is okay. If it's too salty, add a bit more water. If it's not salty enough, add more miso. Ooh, yummy. I have just a regular block of tofu. Okay, all right, I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to frying our shrimp now. Now we're actually making tempura, and we're gonna heat this up again when we're ready to drink it, basically.
Hello there.
Okay, so we're gonna put oil in. We're looking for about 1 to 2 centimeters of oil. We're not looking to have like a deep fry or anything. I think I'm gonna experiment with the asparagus first, see how it goes. I'm gonna grab my batter that I made earlier, and then we're gonna mix that a little bit because the batter kind of settled a little. I wanna make sure it's nice and mixed through, and we're gonna turn the heat on. I think heat can be medium high. We're looking for 350 degrees Fahrenheit, but nothing higher than that. You want to be very careful. And as you're frying it, you want to make sure it doesn't go lower than 320 degrees Fahrenheit. As you're adding like room temperature ingredients into hot oil, the temperature of the oil will decrease slowly. So to prevent the oil temperature from dropping too quickly, you want to fry things 1 or 2 at a time. What we want to do is we want to dip whatever we're frying into the batter, and you want to coat it, and then you want to drop it into the oil. And you actually want to use a spoon and kind of streak in some extra batter over whatever you're frying to get that extra crispy. I'm gonna put this in, dip it. Am I doing it? I can't tell. I'm dripping. It's floating. Trying to collect the extra little bits of the tempura and see if I can stick to it a little bit. And if it looks like it's like kind of cooked, just take it out. I'm gonna just use my skewer thing here and take out the extra little bits because we don't want to damage the oil flavor. We always start off with like a clean pan of oil, more or less. You can actually keep the little extra crunchy bits and put it in takoyaki. That's a good way of reusing the extra tempura batter. And we're gonna do a mushroom and see how this works. Okay, and then again, same idea. Always want to keep an eye out on your temperature and make sure it's not getting too hot. Asparagus is done. Mushrooms look good though. It's like golden brown and everything. This looks pretty good, right guys? Tempura mushroom. Again, I'm just gonna clean out the little bit. And from time to time, just make sure you actually stir the batter a little bit just to make sure that it's actually like nice and even and the rice flour is not like settling. Grab the stuff together. I'm gonna grab this one out. I think I'm gonna give the sweet potatoes a little bit of extra time because it's potato, so it takes a little bit longer to cook, I believe. Okay, there. For the shrimp, we don't want to have the shrimp go in raw. Give your shrimp a little bit of a rice flour coating. Moment of truth. This is now where we got to be careful. Okay, I'm gonna use my hands now because I'm a little bit worried, and then we're going to dip the whole thing into our batter that I've mixed up again. That in slowly. Oh no, it's curling around my stick. The shrimp is curling around my stick.
What do you mean by that?
It looks good, thank you. I'm actually really excited to eat it soon. Okay, we are done with the tempura. I'm just going to take this out. It's looking pretty good. We have asparagus, sweet potato, we have mushroom, and we have shrimp. I'm gonna actually put the miso soup back on the stove so I can heat up. Just ignore this. I don't know what the fuck is happening here. I'm gonna go get my rice now. I'm gonna serve the soup first. I like soup, so I'm gonna give myself more soup. So I'm gonna actually start topping the tempura now. I have even numbers of everything, so we're gonna do 3 pieces of shrimp, then we'll do 2 pieces of sweet potato, and for a little bit of color, I have 2 spears of asparagus. And it's still quite crunchy, look. Try it. And here we have our completed meal. We made a really hearty bowl of tempura and rice. We have asparagus tempura, shrimp tempura, sweet potato tempura, and also mushroom tempura. So we have a little bit of veggie, a little bit of protein, a little bit of color, and we also made our homemade tensuyu or tempura sauce that I'm gonna pour on in a little bit. And also using our shrimp shells and heads, we made a shrimp miso soup. I think it's turned out really well. Get it all over proteins, the rice. I'm gonna have a little bit of soup first. Oh, it's so warm and savory. I love it. I'm gonna try the rice now. Maybe I can try the shrimp first. That would make sense, right? The crunch is gone a little bit because of the sauce has been sitting there for a little bit, but you definitely still get a little bit of texture. Not bad. Not bad. I'm gonna try a little bit of the mushroom. That one is still pretty crunchy. It's pretty good. All right, Oni bro, what are your thoughts? For homemade, what are your thoughts? 7 out of 10. Okay. 7 out of 10 is not too bad for a first time. What am I lacking? What can I do better? More fried batter? More fried batter. Okay. I gotcha. If you guys ever try out the recipe, leave a comment down below. I would love to see how it turned out for you guys, or any tips and tricks you want me to know to make the whole tempura experience a little bit better, or how to improve. I would also love to learn from you guys. I post regularly, so make sure you keep your eye out for regular uploads. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!